Am I allowed to enter? Am I allowed to leave? Am I allowed to be in here? Am I correct? Am I fired?
Am I a bad father?
Am I missing something? Am I doing this right?
Am I walking too fast? Am I supposed to give this to you?
Am I supposed to be at the meeting on Monday? Am I supposed to be shocked?
Am I the only one who thinks this is weird?
Am I the only one who doesn't agree with you?
Am I the only one who wants to do that?
There are enough chairs to seat 12 people. Are there any cute girls in your class?
Are there many museums in Boston?
Are you a student?
Are you busy now? Are you alone? Are you able to swim?
Are you able to play the guitar?
Are you able to do it? Are you afraid of death? Are you afraid of snakes? Are you afraid of being fired? Are you allergic to anything?
Are you allergic to any medication? Are you allergic to any foods?
Are you almost ready? Are you almost finished?
Are you almost done?
Are you going to go to Boston next week?
Are you going to stay here a long time? Are you going to eat this whole pie by yourself?
Are you good at cooking? Are you good at speaking French?
Are you good at your job? Are you here on business or for pleasure?
Are you here to help me?
Are you here on holiday?
Are you interested in the job?
Are you interested in European history? Are you interested in modern art? Are you joking or are you serious?
Are you looking for work? Are you offering me a job? Are you ready for dinner? Are you ready for tomorrow?
Are you ready for today's exam?
Are you ready to order now? Are you ready to proceed?
Are you ready to go to the mall?
Are you really happy? Are you really married?
Are you really a lawyer?
Are you saying that this is my fault? Are you saying Tom is a liar? Are you saying I was wrong? Are you still busy? Are you still feeling sick?
Are you still in Australia?
Are you still married? Are you still living in Boston?
Are you still looking for work?
Are you suggesting Tom was murdered?
Are you suggesting that I'm wrong? Are you suggesting I'm lying?
Are you sure it's here? Are you sure his name was Tom?
Are you sure everything is okay?
Are you telling me you forgot? Are you telling me you're worried?
Are you telling me you don't remember where you parked your car?
Are you the one who took my knife?
Are you the one who called the police? Are you the one who ate all the cheese?
Can anyone tell me the time?
Can anyone guess what's in this box? Can anyone help me with this?
Can I borrow this pen? Can I ask you something personal?
Can I have some hot chocolate?
Can someone open a window? Can someone explain this to me?
Can someone give me an answer?
Can you close the door? Can you call me later?
Can you make a reservation?
Can you give me an example? Can you give me your phone number?
Can you help me install this software?
Can you give me the keys? Can you introduce me to someone who speaks French?
Can you help me set the table? Can you help me push the car?
Can you introduce me to the girl talking with Tom?
Can you introduce me to your friend?
Can you recommend a good place to eat Korean food? Can you recommend a good hotel in the area?
Can you recommend a good book on writing? Can you show me the way to the aquarium?
Can you show me how to tie a tie?
Can you show me that book?
Can you teach me how to ride a horse? Can you teach me how to fight?
Can you teach me how to swear in French? Can you tell me how to get to the nearest station?
Can you tell me more about Boston?
Can you tell me how old Tom is?
Can you think of anyone who would want to rent my extra room?
Can you think of anyone who might be able to help?
Can you think of anyone who might be able to babysit our kids tonight? Can't we just pretend this didn't happen? Can't we just ask Tom to leave? Can't we just be friends? Can't you see we're busy? Can't you see what Tom is doing?
Can't you see that I'm working?
Could I have a cup of coffee? Could I make a reservation? Could I talk to you alone for a second?
Could you carry my bags for me?
Could you give me some examples?
Could you fill out this form, please?
Did anybody see Tom leave?
Did anybody tell you what to do?
Did anybody call you? Did I say something funny?
Did I mention that before? Did I give you enough money?
Did we win?
Did it rain all night? Did Tom agree to do it?
Did you find a job? Did you read the instructions?
Did you enjoy the pizza?
Did you have any difficulty in finding my house? Did you have breakfast?
Did you have a problem with that?
Did you really see a UFO?
Did you really understand everything I said?
Did you really miss me?
Didn't you talk to Tom?
Didn't you hear the bell?
Didn't you know any of that?
Do I have to read these?
Do I have to wear a suit? Do I have to do that by myself?
Do you actually know how to do this?
Do you actually feel sorry for Tom?
Do you actually believe this? Do you always have coffee with your breakfast?
Do you always do your homework? Do you always talk this much? Do you consider yourself a good driver? Do you consider yourself a religious person? Do you consider yourself lucky? Do you ever take vitamin pills? Do you ever eat lunch with Tom? Do you ever kiss your wife in public?
Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have enough time to do that?
Do you have any books written in French?
Do you have to go home now? Do you have to work on Sundays?
Do you have to stay in Australia all week?
Do you like this color? Do you like Chinese food? Do you like your job? Do you like to travel? Do you like to dance?
Do you like to watch matches on TV?
Do you mind if I turn down the TV? Do you mind if I open the window? Do you mind if I ask a few questions?
Do you need help with your homework? Do you need more time to finish that? Do you need any more money? Do you need me to buy you anything at the supermarket? Do you need me to repeat the question? Do you need me to drive you home?
Do you often go shopping?
Do you often lie to your wife? Do you often walk home? Do you plan to go to Boston by bus?
Do you plan to eat all of that yourself?
Do you plan to have children? Do you prefer meat or fish? Do you prefer Coke or Pepsi? Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Do you really believe that story?
Do you really expect to win? Do you really have a girlfriend? Do you remember the day when we first met?
Do you remember the name of the paramedic that saved my life?
Do you remember how many people there were?
Do you still have my number?
Do you still go to Boston every summer? Do you still live in Australia?
Do you think this is real? Do you think it's going to rain today?
Do you think it was easy for me?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you understand what I just said? Do you understand what this means?
Do you want fruit juice?
Do you want anything to eat? Do you want anything to drink? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to meet tomorrow? Do you want to go to the beach today?
Does she know you?
Does milk spoil quickly? Does that seem wise? Have you already talked to Tom about this? Have you already called an ambulance? Have you already decided what to do? Have you been listening to me? Have you been dating anyone else? Have you been waiting for a long time?
Have you ever been stuck in an elevator?
Have you ever been married? Have you ever been happy?
How about going out for a walk after dinner?
How about playing golf tomorrow?
How about having a cup of coffee?
How about a cup of coffee?
How about some milk and cookies?
How about October 20th at 2:30 p.m.?
How am I supposed to compete with that? How am I supposed to do this by myself? How am I supposed to get out of here? How are things at work? How are things at home? How are things at school?
How are we going to solve this problem?
How are we going to fix that?
How are we going to get the piano upstairs?
How are you going to get to Boston? How are you going to cook the turkey? How are you going to pay for college? How bad is Tom hurt? How bad was the damage?
How bad is the food?
How big is your house? How big is the sun?
How big is the problem?
How can we contact you? How can you explain that?
How can I buy tickets?
How come you know French so well?
How come you don't know your own name?
How come you're so busy? How could Tom be so stupid? How could it have happened? How could anyone forget it? How deep is Lake Biwa? How deep is the hole?
How deep is the pool?
How did they get in here?
How did Tom know about our plan? How did it happen exactly?
How did you find out it was me? How did you meet Tom? How did you convince Tom to do that? How do you explain this? How do I know you?
How do they build houses so cheaply?
How does Tom make money? How does money work?
How does the food taste?
How exactly did Tom die? How exactly can I help you? How exactly does this work? How far are we from the sea? How far are we from the airport? How far are we from Boston? How far away is the airport? How far away is your school? How far away is Tom's house? How far is the next gas station?
How far is the nearest hospital? How far is the bus stop from here?
How fast can you do it?
How fast can you walk?
How fast can you read?
How fast does this car go?
How fast do you read?
How fast is your internet access?
How good a chess player is Tom? How good a swimmer is Tom?
How good a dancer are you?
How good is your memory? How good was Tom today? How good are those jobs? How hard can it really be to do that?
How hard is it to get a fake passport?
How hard was the test? How have you been doing lately? How have you been sleeping?
How have you been spending your time?
How heavy is your suitcase? How heavy are you? How heavy is that box? How high is that tower?
How high is that mountain?
How high is that building?
How hot is it outside?
How hot is
How hot is the water?
How important is marriage to you? How important is music in your life?
How important is your family to you?
How is your family? How is the weather today?
How is your wife? How late am I? How late does the zoo stay open? How late do you stay up every night? How long ago did the bus leave? How long ago did it happen?
How long ago was this picture taken?
How long are you going to wait for Tom?
How long are you going to stay in Australia? How long are you going to keep doing that?
How long can I borrow this book? How long can Tom stay? How long can we wait? How long did it take you to translate this book? How long did it take Tom to get to Boston?
How long did it take you to get to Australia?
How long do I have to wait for delivery?
How long do baseball games usually last? How long do dogs live?
How long does it take to get to the station? How long does it take to walk to your house from here?
How long does it take to become a cardiologist? How long has it been since we last met? How long has it been since you moved to Boston?
How long has it been since you last saw Tom?
How long have you been learning English? How long have you been living here?
How long have you been looking for a job?
How long is this bridge? How long is your spring vacation?
How long is this river?
How long should we leave it in the oven? How long should I take this medicine? How long should I wait here? How long was Tom in the water? How long was Tom in the hospital? How long was your trip? How long were you at school today? How long were you at the zoo?
How long were you in there? How long will it take to finish the work?
How long will it take you to paint my house?
How long will it take us to do this? How long will the storm last?
How long will the meeting last?
How long will the flight last?
How many hours a day do you study French?
How many hours a week do you play games? How many days are you planning to stay? How many times a month do you go to the mall? How many times a year do you go to Boston? How many times a day do you exercise?
How many years have you been studying French?
How many years have you been working here?
How many years have you been a plumber?
How much is a first-class ticket?
How much is a cup of coffee? How much is 300 euros in dollars?
How much money do I owe you?
How much time did we lose?
How much cash do you have on you? How often do you wash your clothes? How often do you upload videos to YouTube?
How often do you go to the movies?
How old are you?
How old are your kids? How old are your parents?
How old could Tom be?
How old was Tom when he got married?
How old do I look to you?
How old were you when your father died? How old were you when you learned to swim? How old were you when you got married? How soon will Tom get here?
How soon can I meet Tom?
How soon is that going to happen? How tall is this building? How tall is the Eiffel Tower?
How tall is the average Christmas tree?
How was Boston? How was dinner?
How was last night's party? How well do you know Tom? How well can you play tennis? How well do you speak French? How will it end? How will I do that? How will Tom come to Australia? How's it going at school? How's it going with your boyfriend? How's the new job going?
Is it hard to learn French? Is it hard to be a vegetarian? It's hard to find a part-time job.
Is it okay if we change the subject?
Is it okay if I leave early today? Is it okay if I use your car today?
Is it okay to feed my dog the same thing I feed my cat? Is it okay to open the window now?
Is it okay to fish from this bridge? Is it possible to drink salt water? Is it possible to meet at 2:30? Is it possible to drown in a bathtub?
Is it safe to eat this mushroom?
Is it safe to drink the tap water? Is it safe to swim here?
Is it time to eat? Is it time to go? Is it time to leave? Is it true that Tom can't speak French?
Is it true that Tom and Mary got married? Is it true that Tom and Mary got divorced? Is there a link between smoking and lung cancer?
Is there a parking lot?
Is there a good Chinese restaurant around here? Is there any chance that Tom will win? Is there any chance that you'll be in Boston next month? Is there any chance that'll happen? Is there anyone here who can speak English?
Is there anyone here who doesn't know Tom?
Is there anyone here who isn't afraid to do that?
May I join you?
May I come in? May I open the door?
May we go home?
May we take pictures here? May we enter? Shall I get you a chair? Shall we call the police? Shall we say goodbye?
Should we tell Tom? Should we hire Tom?
Should we invite Tom?
Was he home alone?
Was I too late? Was anyone at home?
Were you tired?
Were you in Boston last summer?
Were you busy last Monday?
What about this dress? What about next Monday?
What about that girl over there?
What am I being accused of? What am I being charged with?
What am I being arrested for? What am I supposed to do with this?
What am I supposed to tell Tom?
What am I supposed to say to Tom? What are the animals that you can see in this picture? What are the advantages of living alone? What are Tom's children's names?
What are the chances that Tom will actually come?
What are the chances that Tom will do that? What are the chances that Tom will be there? What are the differences between monarchies and dictatorships?
What are the differences between dogs and wolves? What are the differences?
What are you going to tell Tom exactly? What are you going to eat for dinner? What are you going to study in college?
What are you reading now?
What are you laughing about?
What are you planning to do next?
What can you tell me about Tom? What can I do for you? What can you see from your window? What caused the explosion? What caused the war?
What caused the plane to crash? What causes depression? What causes asthma? What causes earthquakes?
What did he ask you?
What did you want to ask me? What did I say yesterday? What did it feel like? What did it look like? What did it sound like?
What do you know about Mary's boyfriend?
What do you know about this place? What do you know about Australia? What do you mean by that?
What do you do after school?
What do you see now?
What do you want to do after school? What do you want to know about me?
What do you want to cook today?
What do you want me to do?
What do you want me to see?
What do you want me to translate?
What does UN stand for? What does EC stand for?
What does UNESCO stand for?
What does Tom really want?
What does this text mean? What does your company sell?
What else do you know about Tom?
What else did Tom eat? What else would you like to see in Boston?
What exactly are you looking for? What exactly did you see?
What exactly is your book about? What happens if it rains?
What happens if Tom dies? What happens if Tom refuses?
What if I refuse?
What if Tom's plan doesn't work? What if someone sees us together?
What is butter made of?
What is aspirin made of? What is this vase made of?
What kind of books do you read?
What kind of dog is it?
What kind of fuel does a helicopter use?
What made her so angry?
What made Tom change his mind? What made you think that Tom didn't like you? What makes you so sad?
What makes you cry?
What makes you think I was on a date?
What makes you so sure Tom wants to stay?
What makes you so sure Tom likes you? What makes you so sure that Tom will be here tomorrow? What more can I say? What more can I ask? What more can I do? What should I write here?
What should we discuss next? What should I tell my mom?
What sort of man is Tom Jackson?
What sort of problems did you have? What sort of clothes do you like?
What time is it in Boston now? What time do you wake up on Sundays?
What time did you arrive in Boston?
What was the difference? What was that sound?
What was the first book you read?
What would I do without you? What would make you happy?
What would my life be without you?
What would you do if you had $1 million?
What would happen if I pushed this button?
What would you do if you were me?
What would you like to say to Tom? What would you like to talk about? What would you like to eat for dinner? What would have happened if Tom hadn't done that? What would have happened if Tom had seen us? What would have happened if Tom had come?
What's the best way to learn a foreign language? What's the best cure for loneliness? What's the best book you've ever read? What's the difference between a village and a town? What's the difference between football and soccer? What's the difference between a dog and a wolf?
What's the name of your dog?
What's the name of this place? What's the name of the person who helped you?
What's the point of all this?
What's the point of coming here? What's the point of doing that?
What's the use of worrying?
What's the use of reading magazines?
What's the use of hiding?
What's the worst movie you've ever seen? What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst job you've ever had?
What's wrong with the food?
What's wrong with the way I sing? What's wrong with the dog?
What's your favorite book? What's your favorite game?
What's your favorite color to wear?
When are you coming to Boston?
When are we leaving? When are we getting married?
When are we going to get together?
When are we going to tell Tom?
When are we going to do that?
When can I call you? When can I see you again?
When can we talk?
When did you go to Boston? When did you hear about it?
When did you last visit Boston? When do you go to sleep?
When do I get paid?
When do you expect to arrive?
When does Tom go to school?
When does your new store open?
When does summer break start?
When is a good time for you?
When is the best time to visit Australia?
When is breakfast?
When is the next flight to Boston? When is the next bus to Park Street?
When is the next full moon?
When should I feed my dog?
When should I do that? When should I come back?
When was the last time Tom gave you a gift?
When was the last time Tom took a shower? When was the last time you ate pizza?
Where were you born?
When were you busy yesterday?
When were you fired?
Where am I now?
Where am I going to go?
Where am I on this map?
Where am I supposed to sleep? Where am I supposed to sit?
Where am I supposed to park?
Where are my boots?
Where are the eggs? Where are our passports?
Where can I find an ATM?
Where can we talk privately?
Where can we get some food?
Where did I put the keys? Where did Tom buy his car? Where did you work last year?
Where do I start? Where do we go? Where do you stay in Boston?
Where does it hurt?
Where does your grandmother live?
Where does Tom study?
Where exactly do you live?
Where exactly are we?
Where exactly should I be?
Where is your brother?
Where is the closest hospital?
Where is Tom right now? Where is Tom sleeping?
Where is Tom working now? Where is Tom studying?
Where should we park?
Where should I wait for you?
Where should I put this box?
Where were you when it happened?
Where were you when the fire broke out?
Where were you when Tom died?
Where will you eat lunch tomorrow?
Where will you go skiing this year? Where will you go for your vacation?
Where would you like to sit?
Where would you like to live? Where would you like to go this weekend?
Which do you like better, apples or bananas?
Which do you like better, Coke or Pepsi?
Which do you like better, dogs or cats?
Which do you prefer, apples or bananas?
Which do you prefer, Coke or Pepsi?
Which do you prefer, dogs or cats?
Which one do you think she chose?
Which one do you think is best? Which one do you think I should read?
Which one is mine? Which one is the best?
Which one is my toothbrush? Which one would you like to buy? Which one would you like to try drinking? Which one would you like to try eating?
Who are the others?
Who are the other guests?
Who are those women? Who are you going to see?
Who are you going to meet at the mall? Who are you going to invite? Who are you waiting for?
Who are you voting for?
Who are you waving at?
Who do you trust?
Who do you plan to go with? Who do you plan to visit in Australia?
Who's your favorite artist?
Who's your favorite blogger? Who's your favorite character in this movie?
Whose turn is it to drive?
Whose turn is it to cook tonight?
Whose turn is it to give the dog a bath?
Why are you always laughing?
Why are you always so hard on yourself? Why are you always happy?
Why did you run? Why did you stay with Tom? Why did you tell Tom that? Why do you like Boston? Why do you need my help?
Why do you learn French?
Will you explain the rule to me?
Will you join us? Will you help us? Would it be okay if I sat here?
Would it be okay if I used this? Would it be okay if I opened a window?
Would you like me to call you a cab? Would you like me to do that for you? Would you like me to come with you? Would you like to be rich?
Would you like to come see a movie with us?
Would you like to do that over again?
Would you like to eat something? Would you like to drink some tea?
Would you like to eat alone?
Would you mind coming with me?
Would you mind giving me a hug?
Would you mind doing the laundry? Would you mind if I catch some sleep?
Would you mind if I opened a window?
Would you mind if I changed the channel?